Good morning and welcome back to another day in my life. Today is Wednesday, January 24th. I don't really have any set plans. I feel like the last couple day in the life videos that I have done this year, I've had like this is what we're gonna talk about today. And I don't have any of that today. I'm just bringing you along for my day. And so I'm kicking it off with my face to say hi, and we're gonna get today all planned out. All right, like I mentioned, I'm pretty sure it was the last plan with me video, or not plan with me, day in the life video that I did. I have been just planning out in a notebook, partially because I don't have a lot of timed things right now. And so it feels like a waste to use my daily planning pad. Also, I'm almost out of actual pages for it. So I'm saving those for days that are really important that I have the timed things. And I forgot that I had some of these smaller size notebooks. I was just using like a regular 7x9 notebook. I have a bazillion of them, but the smaller one is kind of a better fit. So I've been trying to use those up. So I'm just going to plan out my day. I just kind of break it up into little chunks and do almost little to-do list style. So step one is going to be my AM routine, which we're in the middle of now, but I like to put that down so that I can check it off when I am done with the whole routine in my Routinery app. I talked a lot more about my AM routine in the last 2 day in the life videos in different ways. So I'm not gonna go into that a lot today. Then what I'm gonna do while the camera is already set up in top-down mode, I'm gonna film the top-down portion of my goals video. If you watch my monthly goals videos, I always show myself actually writing in my goal planner. And since the camera is all set up, before I take it off to continue with my day in the life, I'm gonna go ahead and check that off and get that done. And then work out, get that in this morning. Wednesdays are the days I actually have to get it done because I have my live today, so I can't like keep putting it off, which I am very good at on other days. So get my workout in and then get ready, because then I have my live. The one-time thing I have today is the live chat. And then after that is over, the kind of recap step for the live. And if I'm being totally honest, I didn't do this step for last week's live, and I really want to. I was gonna say should. I'm trying not to say the word should. I don't think, like, there's most things in life that we shouldn't do. You get to decide what's important to you. But I'm gonna go ahead and make that a actual step to also go ahead and do last week's, because I didn't do that. And then the next step, which I truthfully will probably do right when the live is over before I do these recaps, is get dinner in the crock pot. The meal that I have chosen for this week is like a 3 to 4 hour meal. And so I'm not obviously gonna put it in crock pot. That's what I was trying to say. Also, my mom and I were talking yesterday about how crock pot is like Kleenex. Like, it's a brand. It's not like the slow cooker is the actual thing, and crock pot was the brand that got big. So, and I don't actually have a crock pot. My slow cooker is a different brand. Anyways, the meal is a 3 to 4 hour meal. So I'm gonna get it in at like between 1 and 2 after the live is over so that it's ready for dinner time. Then I have a couple other work things I'd like to squeeze in while my mom is still here. She's coming over to watch my daughter during the live. The big one is filming my goals video. While I'm all ready to go, I'm gonna go ahead and get the goals video all filmed, and then a couple of reels for next month, and then my communication routine. That one I don't need my mom necessarily here for, but the other ones, it's nice to have somebody else that is watching my daughter. And then my PM routine. And that is all in terms of like absolutely has to get done. It's possible that I will add other things that I would like to do. I guess that is kind of the negative of using the smaller one, because I don't have quite as much space over here. If I hadn't written out these quite so long. What I was doing in the bigger size is I was having like the left side were the things that I have time scheduled, and barring any explosions in life, which happen, these things I would be able to get to today. And then the stuff that I would like to get to if I have extra time, or depending on how I'm feeling energy wise, over on this side. But I don't really have this side. But I guess I could just like maybe put it down here. We'll see. We'll see what I end up deciding. But I will show you this page as we continue throughout the day. But for now, I am going to actually click pause on my AM routine and get the top down part of my goals filmed. All right, so if you follow along with my goals and all the things I talk about, I sometimes struggle in videos to know, like, should I re-mention things that I have talked about before? But also, if you haven't watched that video, you may have no idea what I'm talking about. So sometimes I feel like I'm repeating myself because I don't want to make the assumption that you've seen all my other videos. Anyways, one of my goals for Q1 is to get back into meal planning. And for now, I just have been keeping it really simple and picking 1 or 2 recipes a week and doing it that way. And then one of my goals for February, if you watch that goals video, is to clean up the platform I was using called Plan to Eat to Meal Plan. And a lot of the meals that I was making pretty consistently were in Plan to Eat. But yesterday, my mom was here and we were standing in the kitchen chatting. And we were just kind of like flipping through what I had because my mom also feels a little bit in a slump with meals. And she actually really enjoys cooking, but she's like, I want to find some new things to cook. And I rediscovered these cookbooks. And so of course I couldn't just like let it go and had to immediately, as you can see from the sticky notes, I'll explain in a second, I had to immediately mark them all up and get really excited about them again. I haven't quite decided if I'm gonna jump back in immediately next week, but I thought I would share with you what I did and kind of my plan for them. So they are both by the same author, if you can't tell by the picture. This was her first one, and this is the first one that I got into, and I raved about this cookbook years ago. It's called Cook Once, Eat All Week, and the concept is that on a prep day, you prep, let me show you like the overview page. You prep a protein, a starch, a carb of some kind, and a vegetable. Here's like the overview page of like all the weeks. There's 26 weeks. Then you each night, weekday night, I mean, you could do whatever. Like, I mean, what makes sense for a lot of people is like on Sunday you would do the prep and then you would cook the dinners throughout the week. But these 3 ingredients that you prep, and there are some other prep things each week too that you could do if you want to. I didn't always prioritize those things. I would just prioritize the 3 the 3 main ones. But it turns into 3 dishes. 3 dishes that have 4 servings apiece. So for us, it was always 3 dinners and then leftovers for lunch. And I used this cookbook a lot, especially during the pandemic when we were not eating out near as much. This was one of the like cookbooks I followed a lot. And there were a lot of weeks. I know for sure that my favorite week is week 19. That one is hands down my favorite week. So what I did yesterday is I went through and I marked the weeks that I want to start with. I picked out 8 weeks based on the ingredients. I know they're ingredients that we like and I feel comfortable cooking. The recipes look good, etc. I also wrote myself a sticky note to consider other week, but with substitutions. So for example, she has like, I think there is a section on like what you can substitute with. I don't know. I'm trying to find an example of like a week. Like I don't really like tomatoes. So that one might be harder to substitute, but you could totally substitute things like instead of kale, you could use spinach instead of like, I wonder if there's a substitution for spaghetti squash because I don't really like spaghetti squash either. But I thought I would start with the weeks that I know I like the ingredients and I feel comfortable with. And then in the future, I would maybe consider substitution. I also want to consider doing freezer meals. I've never been a freezer meal kind of person where I like put things in the freezer and then, I don't know, for whatever reason, it kind of grosses me out, but I'm sure it's all in my head and it's really it's not that bad. Doesn't taste that, like it doesn't taste any different. So I just need to do it because there were 2 reasons I kind of stopped with this cookbook. The biggest one is I didn't want to commit to prepping on the weekends. When we were kind of at the tail end of our lives in New York City, I was spending a lot of time with friends. We were like doing lots of things. We were traveling and I didn't want to commit to Sunday prep in order to have things ready to go for the week. It also never really lined up with our grocery shopping routine. Also, it's 3 meals. It makes 3 meals. And between hanging out with friends and doing all kinds of things, there were weeks that we didn't need 3 meals. And truthfully, that's still true, which is why I want to look into the process of freezing and unfreezing, etc. But there are definitely weeks, especially right now in the winter, that we 100% would eat 3 meals at home for dinner. And obviously, at a very different stage in our lives, I am totally comfortable spending time on a Saturday or Sunday prepping my food for the week. It is rare that we have plans both Saturday and Sunday. And then it also lines up with our grocery shopping because my husband has taken over the grocery shopping and he has been going on Fridays. So on Fridays, he can go grocery shopping.
I can prep the stuff on Saturday or Sunday, and then we have meals for the week. So I am really excited about this. I will leave it linked down below. You can get a version that's bound like this, but I obviously, if you've been around, I love a coil, and I like being able to like flip to the pages. So these are the weeks that I'm gonna start with for now, and then we'll see if I venture out later. I mean, even if I did every single week, like that's 2 months worth of stuff. So, and I probably won't do it every single week, but I also marked those pages. Then her second cookbook came out that was the same general concept where you like are cooking, spending less time in the kitchen to get more meals, but different in a couple of ways. This one had no prep. So like you're not doing any prep work. You're cooking each night as it is, but you're cooking something on the first night that you can then use on the second night to make the second night faster. So the first difference is that this one is 3 meals and this one is only 2. Let me show you one that I have marked. It's also, I think it's, oh no, it's definitely more than 26 weeks because I have it marked all the way through 57. I wonder, well, I guess it's only 2 meals, so it's not necessarily considered a whole week. So yeah, I guess it is way more than the other one, which is 26 weeks. I'm trying to find, let's see, it doesn't even say really. Oh, dinner series 1, that's where the number is. Okay, so what does it go all the way to? Dinner series 60. Holy guacamole, that's a lot. So, but the difference is there's probably some of these that you're not going to use. I mean, she has them broken up into section. There's like poultry, and then there's beef, and then seafood, vegetarian. I think those are the only categories. Anyways, so here's like the concept, right? So this week there's chicken, sloppy joes, and then you use the chicken that you cook for the sloppy joes for the enchilada casserole. The biggest difference that I noticed with this cookbook is that some of these meals take a lot longer than the ones in this book. So that I think is what kind of held me back from jumping into this, is I was like, I don't want to spend that much time. And there are some weeks that the ingredients sound delicious, but I still don't want to spend that much time. So for example, this one is 35 minutes on the first day, and then 30 minutes, takes 45, but some of that is, you know, cooking in the oven, 30 minutes on the second day. And that's still a good amount of time. So I would have to be really thoughtful about which weeks I do these meals, but it is only 2 meals. And so that makes things a little bit easier. However, some of these are a little bit bigger, right? This one says it serves 6. So that's, you know, for us, but then also leftovers for multiple days. So I actually didn't even look at that when I marked these. I marked them based on did the recipe sound good, and they're not super duper long. And when I say super long, I mean like the active time. I don't mind if it's cooking in the oven, right? So like this one is 10 minutes of active time, but 45 minutes total. Same thing over here. It's not as much active time as it is just sitting in the oven, you know, potatoes cooking. Anyways, I did the same thing in this cookbook where I went through and I marked the ones that I want to try. Maybe someday I will venture out and try the other ones. Some of them I probably never will for weekday meals because they're just going to be too long, but some of them I might, it might just be the ingredients or feeling confident. Like this one over here there's weeks where it's like a whole chicken. I do not have the confidence right now to cook like a whole chicken. I just don't. And so that is not on my list for now. But I will tell you that when I was going through this process last night, I thought about the fact that that could be a really good quarterly goal for this overarching annual goal, is to get out of my comfort zone, is what I called it, and cook things like a whole chicken. I put a whole chicken, and then not from this cookbook, I think it was this cookbook, I put tofu as something that I've enjoyed when I eat it at restaurants, but I've never tried cooking it at home. The other thing I put on this one was to read the intro pages. I kind of flipped through them for you a little bit, but they look really like that would really helpful. Like enjoying, literally there's my goal, right? Enjoying your time in the kitchen. There's like tools to have. There's, you know, substitution recommendations, all kinds of stuff. So I didn't prioritize that last night, but that is something that I also want to do as part of this goal. So I thought I would share these with you. I'm not obviously using them tonight. We'll see if I jump into one of them next week, but I forgot how much I love these cookbooks.
All right, I'm still in my pajamas. Yes, it is definitely later, but I'm sitting down at my computer to work on something, and I don't know why I took the effort to like put you on the stand. And then I'm gonna take you off to show you my computer in just a second. I guess I could just rotate it if I wanted to. Anyways, one of the things I have realized since having a little one, at least for now, while there are pieces of her routine that are still unpredictable, is moving things around. Like, I have the list and I have the general order, like when I showed you the plan with me, that I'd like to get things done. But depending on what is going on, whether I have help that day and what time I have help, sometimes I move things around and I do things in a different order. So even though I had workout down before this step, actually, first off, I didn't even put the step on the plan with me because I forgot that it was a step, and that is to prep for the live. So I have been going live on YouTube for almost 4 years, because it was March of 2020 that I started going live on YouTube every single week, which is just bananas to me. And it started out as just, well, really it started out as a way for us to fill our lunchtime slots during work from home. And then it transitioned, and then I moved it to the evening, and then I moved it back to the daytime. And for a while it's been a full hour. And it has really mostly, up until this year, been just a straight Q&A. Whatever you wanted to talk about, whatever you wanted to ask about. And this year I've changed it up, and each week has a different topic that we focus on. And so even though I already have all the talking points for the topic ready to go, I need to get them set up in the platform that I use, which I'll show you in a second. And then I also am updating where I'm at with reading, my reading goals, what books I finished, what I'm currently reading, all of that jazz in the lives as well. And so I need to update those. And this has to happen basically the day of the live for a couple of reasons. Number one is I don't like to schedule it in the platform until the day of, because when I schedule it, that's when it shows up in your YouTube subscription feed. And I like it to show up the same day. I actually, spoiler alert, have a virtual assistant now. I don't know if I've talked about that in a video. Maybe I need to mention that like more. Let me know if you want me to elaborate more on that. I won't in this vlog, but I can in a future vlog if you want me to. Anyways, she actually does it on Wednesday mornings, but I like it to show up in your feed the day that it's going to happen. So that means that on my end, at some point in the morning, I need to, kitty tail, I need to go in and add the talking points for today's topic, as well as my reading updates. I also have been including, we've always started the live with a question about wins and ended it with a question about action steps. And I'm also now including mine in those as well. So let me show you what it looks like. Okay, so the platform that I use is called StreamYard, and I do pay for it. I don't use the free version. I forget what the difference is between the free version and then the level that I pay for. But since I use it every single week to go live, it is 100% worth it to me. So you can see that my virtual assistant created the live stream at 6:07 my time. She's on East Coast, so 7:07 her time. Normally it's not quite so early. She has a prior commitment today, and I told her she could do it yesterday at the end of the day if she wanted to. And she was like, no, I'll still do it Wednesday, but I'm gonna do it earlier than normal, which is totally fine. So she has the thumbnail and the title and the description in a shared Google Drive that we have. And so she creates it, and then I go in here and I say enter studio, and then it's gonna go ahead and show me, you can see me, hi. So enter studio. It doesn't really matter, like I can add myself to the stage, but like this is not the point of this part. What I'm here to do is mess with over here. This is what it looks like. So when I'm ready, I click go live. This is where I can see comments. This is where I can change the brand stuff. So have the logo up here, my name, what colors, etc. And then over here are all of the things that I pop up. So these are all the ones from last week. So what I will go in here and do, right? This is the question we always start with. I will go in here and change my win. Then I'll update all of the books. And then these are all the talking points. I will delete all of last week's and upload or create ones for this week, and then end with my action step. So that is what I'm going to go ahead and do now. Just based on the timing, it works out better. Oh, of course, after coming off of the computer, it's super yellowy. So the live sessions, if you've never joined one, this year they are looking different. So if you're interested in my reading updates, or you're interested in the topic that we're talking about, I'm trying to be good about posting the topic on Instagram the day before. I have not been. Maybe I should have my VA do that too. So that what I'm trying to do, like, no, I said I wasn't gonna talk about it in this video. That needs to be its own future video if I'm gonna do it, because I wanna do it properly. But I for sure am including the topic in the weekly email newsletter. So if you're not signed up for my email newsletter, the topic for the live will always be there. But then if you're subscribed here on YouTube, it will also pop up in your YouTube feed both the day of the live, and then the replay will always be there. The lives are at 1 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays, but the replay is always there if you are unable to join live. It's usually about 5 minutes at the beginning of like our wins, my book updates, then anywhere from, it's been like 10 to 20 minutes of the topic of the week, and then the rest of it is Q&A, whatever everyone wants to chat about.
Okay, I need your advice. So this is my beautifully thriving plant that I will link the shop who sent this to me. She watched my videos and sent me an email that said I would love to send you a plant, and she sent this to me in the mail. It was like, I don't know, maybe like one stem of a couple when she sent it to me, and that was a couple of years ago. Not only have I kept it alive, and I moved it from New York to Chicago, and it's beautiful and thriving. I cannot say the same for the orchid. I need your thoughts. My mom got me this orchid as a housewarming present when we moved here, and it was beautifully and already in bloom. And I took care of it, and then they fell off, which I was told is normal, that the blooms fall off and then they come back. And there's like, I think these are roots that are growing out, and I've been watering it. I mean, I water them at the same time. So like, I've been taking care of it. But the actual stem, and somebody told me the flowers will grow back, but the actual stem that the flowers grow on looks absolutely dead. It's not focusing on it, so I'm not sure if I'm really here. Let me try to show you. Like, I could snap this off in 1 second if I really wanted to. It looks like absolutely dead. If anybody is a plant, an orchid knowledge, is this dead? Like this particular stem? And if so, does that mean this whole thing like is never gonna grow a flower again and I have to give up on it? Or if I keep taking care of it, will it eventually sprout another flower? Thank you. All right, another week, another live where I am not going to do my hair. And I'm just gonna pull it back into a clip, which is how I wear my hair 95% of the time. Like when I curled my hair, we went to a wedding last weekend. My hair really needs to be washed too, but when we went to a wedding last weekend, that was the first time I curled and like did my hair in I don't know how long. So it's just not a priority right now. The other thing I quickly wanted to include in this vlog, and you may not be able to tell well from the camera footage and the angles and the lighting and all that stuff, I don't love my eyebrows. So I started getting my eyebrows tinted last summer, I believe was the first time I went. I vlogged that experience, and I went to somebody that a friend recommended, and he did an amazing, fantastic job. And I was very much obsessed with getting my eyebrows tinted, and I loved it. But he is pricey, he is worth it. It's a whole experience, but it is pricey. And the bigger piece of it, and I know I talked about this in the last vlog, is that it's far. And in the winter, walking that far is a lot, and I don't have a car, and the person who does have a car that I can borrow when I need it is usually watching my daughter when I'm going to get my eyebrows done. Now, could I do it when my husband is not working and he could be with my daughter and then my mom could drive me? Like, yeah, we could do that. But I decided, let me just go ahead and try a place closer to save time. And I did that, and I don't love them. I don't like the shape. They're a little dark. And then the biggest issue I have is the way that they feel. I don't know what they did, but they just feel like crunchy, for lack of a better word. You know when you have like gel on your hair? Like that's what they feel like, and I don't like it. I don't like it. So I will not be going back there. I have decided. I found another place in the neighborhood that next time I need them done, I'm gonna try another place and see how it goes. And if that doesn't work, then by the time I would need them done again, it would be much warmer out, and I could maybe that hour back in to get my eyebrows done with Dean will be worth it. Okay, here is a check-in of the planner for the day. All the things that I wanted to do before I got done, and I actually got 2 of the reels done. I have 4 planned for the month. One of them is going to be filming me working out, but I didn't want to do that today. I want to do that like with a different workout. So I'm not going to worry about that one today. And then the other, I did 2. The other one left is with my little peanut. So I'm going to do that one probably later today after my mom leaves. So now I just need to finish setting up the live in terms of like getting my laptop at the right angle, etc. I already did the thumbnail, and then it's time to go live. All right, my live is done. I came into the kitchen to get dinner in the crock pot, which I will show you before, like I'll show you the ingredients and then I'll show you once it's in there. But I'm starving, so I'm gonna eat lunch first. I made this chicken salad the other day, so I'm gonna have some of that. And then in the true spirit of, it doesn't have to be all or nothing, I am going to have a salad and put the chicken salad on top to get some vegetables in. But then I'm also gonna have some chicken salad with just chips. For me, it just works to do it like this, and for it not to be an all or nothing where I like, oh, I only have it with the chips or I only have it on the salad. Obviously I prefer it on the chips, but I also wanna get a vegetable in. So I'm gonna do a little bit of both. All right, the recipe I'm cooking today is a beef and broccoli in the crock pot, and then I will serve it over rice, and we will do half regular rice and half cauliflower rice, but I will make that closer to dinner time because right now I just want to prioritize getting back to work. So I'm just going to do the piece that needs to be in the crock pot. So it's beef. I just use frozen broccoli, garlic. The recipe, which I'll link below, actually calls for beef broth, but we had chicken broth. Soy sauce, sesame oil. It actually calls for sriracha, which I know is not the same as red chili pepper, but we don't have sriracha. I didn't put that on the list because we have always just had sriracha. Sam likes to put it on random stuff. He likes spicy food. And I don't know why we don't have any. So the only thing I put on the list for this recipe were these two things because we had everything else. So I know it's not gonna be the exact same. It calls for 1 tablespoon. So it's not like a big portion of the recipe, but I'm gonna put red chili pepper flakes instead, and then salt and pepper. And that's gonna go in the crock pot on low for 4 hours. And then when it's done, I'll add a little cornstarch to thicken up the sauce. And then I will make the rice and the cauliflower rice and mix it all together. This is like one of my favorite go-to recipes. Now that I'm feeling this is the thing about moving. I haven't made this recipe since we moved. I feel like we probably could have used 2 of these in this recipe. You'll learn. There's also brown sugar. I forgot I hadn't pulled that ingredient out yet.
All right, it is sometime in the afternoon. Making progress on things. Goals video is filmed. I'm now joined in my office by a cute little coworker, so you may hear her in the background. I just filmed the reel that I want to do this month with her. It's super short. It's just like me kissing her cheek. It's just cute. But it made me think, I want to ask, first off, are you on Instagram? Like, do you even use Instagram? If so, do you follow me? And if you don't, like, I understand the content that you consume on YouTube versus Instagram is totally different. I 100% have people that I follow here on YouTube that I'm subscribed to that I do not follow on Instagram, because when I go there, I consume different content. So totally understand. But if you do follow me, do you see my stuff? Like, do you use Instagram, I guess? And if so, like, I'm just still trying to figure out like the best way to use Instagram going forward. Besides like more real-time content, like stories. And then for my own personal documentation, like posting about things on like her monthly photos I like to post on Instagram when we have trips and things like that. But otherwise, like in terms of other business stuff, and I'm trying to do a couple of reels every month because I just think that they're entertaining. And every time I see a reel and I like save the sound that I'm like, I could do this, like I want to do them. But they're not necessarily like go buy this thing from me, right? I'm not using it necessarily as like a super business focus. I don't know. What do you think, Peanut? What do you think? She's just laying on a blanket behind me. When she's in here, because she doesn't spend a whole lot of time in here. She hasn't been in here a whole lot. She just like looks around. She's just like, what is this room that I've never really spent time in? We just recently started doing this now that I finally cleaned my office and it's acceptable for Peanuts.
You know what, while we're in here, I'm gonna show you my shelves because somebody asked during Vlogmas for me to do like a shelving styling. Why does it look crooked when I'm holding the camera straight and the shelves are not straight? Either I'm leaning maybe or the ground is leaning. Like, well, that's trippy. Okay, anyways, I thought I would just quickly show you what I've got and like what my thought process was. Obviously, as you can see, I do a lot of it color coordinated. That's just for my visual appeal. Like I just like the way that that looks, and it just kind of is grouped together by color. So I kind of have all the lighter colored stuff at the top. The white books, there's not necessarily any like true rhyme or reason. I think some of them, it was just like, these are all the same size. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so I've got books. I got this vase that I actually got from my mom. She had it in a pile to go to like Goodwill. And I was like, can I have that? Because that's really cute. This is my little elephant guy that I bought in Thailand. Some photos. This frame was actually in a different place in our old apartment and I just added it here. And then this photo of me and my grandparents. That was just a few months before my Mima passed and I just love it. This was actually a basket from one of my best friend's bachelorette parties, and like it was on our bed with all of our stuff, and I use it for just like random miscellaneous things. There's extra like ink in there for the printer, etc. Some more books. These ones obviously go together. It's both of Michelle Obama's books and then Barack Obama's book. This little vase that I painted with my mom and sister and future sister-in-law. We went to one of those paint places. Was that last summer? That may have been 2 summers ago. Because I was when I was here on a trip, not when I lived here. A couple more books. Then we move into yellow with the yellow Friends frame. This was sent to me by one of you and I absolutely love it. And then the picture is of us. This is the same friend I was just talking about and her husband at the Friends experience in New York. And so that's like the hallway where their apartment is. And then it was like the only vertical picture we had from that event. This was the very first plush that Sam got me, this cute little avocado, and he has been on my shelf ever since. And then now we have, you will see, added more. These are kind of more like cream-ish books, more white books, my Wynn's wine glass with the lid that I lost. And then the pizza, Sam got me this for my birthday last year, Laken. These are more like cream books. And then we have our football guy who we need to cut his tag off of. We actually had him out in the living room for all of football season on our little side table out there. And I was like, football season is over. So let's move him into my office. Look at his little cleats. Aren't those so cute? And then my senior mug from my sorority. And then the same friend. Wow, she is very represented on my shelves. Jessie, if you're watching this. This was the candle in my bridesmaid's box when she asked me to be a bridesmaid, and then the basket from her bachelorette, and then she's in a picture. And then we have the pumpkin that we got during Halloween with all the orange books. And then we have the blue books with Tiffany's, and then this little S that my dad and stepmom got us. S for Strum, which is my married name. And then all of like the purpley books, although there's kind of some multicolor books here. And then the planner cover that I designed with Kit Life. I love just like the way that it looks in the background. It just reminds me of lots of things. A bazillion extra notebooks that I'm trying to work my way through. The little glass jar that I use for all the sticky notes that I have completed. I talked about this in my last plan with me. Pride flag. Then we have like black and gray books, and then this black frame, which I don't remember where the frame came from, but it was perfect. I originally had a sonogram in there, and I liked like it was black on black, like the sonogram, but I decided to swap it out for a more recent photo. And then a bunch of extra like journals and planners. This drink recipe book, which I really like the way that it looks in here, but then it doesn't get used when it's in here, so it might need to move. Some other little books and notebooks and journals. This is usually where this lives, which goes under my computer for the lives. The fantasy football trophy that I have to give back because I did not win this year. This is the shelf with like the wedding stuff. This was originally higher up and I've moved it down. So my wedding flowers, a wedding photo, and then I just added this to have the hanger there, which I absolutely love. However, having it this low, my cat has decided the flowers are her play toy. So we may have to move this back up. And yes, I have taped the hanger to get it to stay like that. Then I have a bunch of extra black pens, sticker binders that I haven't decided what I'm gonna do with yet, notebooks and notepads, and then this little guy, which one of you gifted me for the wedding. And what I use it for is actually like when I have memory keeping type stuff in the moment, like a playbill or something from a wedding, like our place card from the wedding we just went to. I just threw that in there. And then eventually I moved that stuff to my like memory boxes, but temporarily that's the best like solution. I just put it in there so it's not cluttering up anything. God bless you, tiny squish. It's not cluttering up anything in my office, but I don't have to like dig out those boxes and organize it all. So I don't know if that was really all that exciting, but there's not really any sort of, what they had asked for were tips, and I don't necessarily have any tips other than make it look like you want it to look like, and if it's serving a purpose. Obviously, like the bottom shelves more so than anything have more function, and these are all just kind of, like I like it. I think it looks nice. I like it as the background. I think it's pretty, and I just like looking at them. All right, it is much later in the day. Like, it's dark out, which I guess is not saying much this time of year, but it's dark. And I did not get done near as much today as I wanted to. I mean, there's a lot of check marks on this page. I checked a lot of things off, but then I also added some things that I never ended up doing. It is what it is. Sam is about to be home from the airport. He had to go on a work trip. So I am gonna go spend the rest of my evening with him and our little peanut. All right, hi, we're back in the bathroom. So I realized that I never actually closed out this vlog. I like said I was gonna go spend the evening with him, and then I didn't actually like
end the vlog, but it works out because I'm getting ready for bed and I need your help. I need your advice for something. I feel like one of the reasons why I don't like washing my face at night, especially when I have makeup on, which is the time I need to be washing my face at night, is that I don't like the products that I'm using to take my makeup off. There's a lot of reasons why I don't love them. So first off, I've never found a cleanser, balm, oil, any of those things that actually gets my mascara off. And I don't use waterproof mascara, but I have never found any of those things that gets mascara off. And so for like my whole life, it feels like I've been using these Almay little pads to get my eye makeup off. And I don't necessarily have an issue with these from like a product standpoint. They totally work. It's more from these are the biodegradable ones, but do I have to do something differently? Like it's not good for the environment. This is not good for the environment. So I would like to do something different in terms of taking off my actual mascara. Then comes taking off the rest of my makeup. And for a very long time, I have used the Clinique Take the Day Off Cleansing Balm. I'm pretty sure I actually included this in a favorites video years and years ago. Ooh, almost dropped it. And I do like it. I like it. For the price, I don't like it. It's so pricey. It's so pricey. And sometimes you can get it on sale, but sometimes you can't. And like when you run out and then you don't, like, it's too expensive for it not actually being. If it also took my mascara off, maybe I would be okay with the price, but it's too expensive. So then I tried the e.l.f. version, Makeup Melting Cleansing Balm from e.l.f. If you listen to the beauty podcast episode I did with my sister, we raved about how much we love e.l.f. And I love the way that this smells. I don't think it works out well, which, I mean, for the price, shouldn't shock me. I know there are like other in-between cleansing balms. I would love any suggestions you have in this category, makeup removal. Anything that you use and love. Again, I am open to the higher price point if it actually does a good job. Not that the Clinique does, but it doesn't take my eye makeup off. So like, I would like something that does all of the things. So either a cleansing balm that also takes that off, but I've tried the oils. I don't necessarily love the oils, especially in the summer, but at this point, I'm open to trying anything. Both of these are almost gone, like almost gone. I kind of bounce back and forth between them, to be honest. I'm like literally almost gone. So honestly, I'm looking at these, and depending on how much I wear makeup between now and then, I'm probably gonna have to make a decision before this video goes up. Okay, please leave your recommendations in the comments. I'm gonna go ahead and get ready for bed and end this video here. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every week focused on helping you achieve your goals. Thank you so much for watching. I had to think really hard about that. Okay, hold on, let me try again. Okay, I am... Anyways, she actually does it. My second...